Hey Christians, especially Christians who voted for Trump, I genuinely want to hear from you in the comment section on this video. I am trying to come at with you with curiosity with this. I would love to know what narrative you are telling yourself about ICE. How are you defending what Trump is doing with ICE? Because as somebody who's read the Bible cover to cover 5 times and has memorized entire books of it, who spent a lot of my life as a Christian, as a missionary, I'm not saying that to brag, I'm just giving context. I understand Jesus to be a brown-skinned immigrant who was killed by the state for breaking the law. And now I'm watching Trump, with a lot of Christians, oppress brown-skinned immigrants for breaking the law, or for, in a lot of cases, for not even breaking the law, but simply for being brown-skinned immigrants. And I just don't understand how you're not connecting those dots. Also, what do you say about verses like Leviticus, I think it's 19:23, that says, treat the foreigner amongst you as if they are native born. Love them as yourself, for you were once a foreigner in Egypt. Or I think it's Deuteronomy 22:21 that says, do not oppress the alien, for you know how it feels to be an alien, for you were once an alien in Egypt. And there's a lot of other scripture like that I just don't happen to have memorized. What are you doing with those scriptures? How are you sitting with those? How are you explaining those away? How are you aligning your faith with what's currently happening and being done by the leaders that you voted for? And if you don't agree with what's happening, why aren't you being louder? Why aren't you making a shit ton of noise if this is not what you wanted? Because if this is not what you wanted, like, this blood is on your hands. You don't get to be quiet now and then just say, I didn't want this. Like, if you're not loud, I'm going to interpret that as you wanted this, and that you have more allegiance to your political party than you do to your faith. Anyways, please, I want to know. Because when I was a Christian, I had to jump through a lot of hoops to stay a Republican. I had to tell myself a lot of stories in order to keep believing what I thought I was supposed to believe. And then eventually I realized I couldn't do that anymore. And I became a more liberal Christian because I wanted to actually stand on the truth of what I was reading in the Bible, and then I ultimately left it all together. But yeah, what stories are you telling yourself? How are you justifying this? How are you not outraged? Tell me.